2 Timothy 1st, verse 1 through 5. Paul, an apostle of Christ Jesus, of the will of God, in keeping the promise of life that is in Christ Jesus. To Timothy, my dear son, grace, mercy, and peace from God the Father, Jesus Christ our Lord. I thank God, whom I serve, as my ancestors did, with a clear conscience, as night and day I constantly remember you in my prayers. Recalling your tears, I long to see you, so that I may be filled with joy. I am reminded of your sincere faith, which first lived in my grandmother Lois and in her mother Eunice. And I am persuaded now lives in you also.
I will try to talk slowly so everyone can understand me. Can you hear me? Okay. The message today is going to be what I found out about the church when I did a whole for the tour. The church was actually built here in 1894, and it was a Methodist church, and it stayed that way until someone in the people in the town decided that all the churches need to have a church together. So they went together and built the church we're in now. It's the same church. At the time it had no basement. As we know, in 1921 the floor fell down. And when they picked that up and put it together, they finally finished the basement. I can't, in going through this stuff, I wish I could have found out when the bell tower was put up. I could not. I do know that in pictures the bell tower was put up when this building was built, but I don't know what time of the day. Now the basement was built after 1921, and then I didn't find this, somewhere along here I lost some paperwork, but the steeple was put on by the Fuller, for Mary and Harold Fuller, and I don't know what year that was done.
That was 2000.
2000, okay. The bathroom and the kitchen, the new section was done, and I don't know what year that was put on, because there was nothing in any of our records that said anything about it, period. I did find out that Pearl Bean had cookbooks. I'd forgotten that, but I enjoyed that. And of course, we always had our harvest dinners for years, and there's a lot of information on the harvest dinners and how they kept on. When the harvest dinners collapsed because they couldn't get enough people out, that is when the rummy sales started. And we're still doing the rummy sales. I did put in the books, in the paperwork we have in the back, I did put on everything about the church basement as this was done over the years, what was done to it. I guess the Potters had a lot to do with it. I know Harold Potter was the one that covered the stone walls down there when they were, after they built the basement. And he said he remembers Howard with him when he did some of that, so I don't know about that. Howard could remember it. There's a lot of family members that have used the church over the years. I was surprised to find out that we had, in the Hartsgrove, we had 4 churches. We had the Methodist Church, we had let me see how to say that. You had a Catholic church called St. Peter's, which was out of Ashtabula. He had his church running it here at the time. And this fine print, I can't. A Disciples Church and a Baptist church. And they all used the building from time to time. When it was all put, that's why the church is called the family church. Now this I found out real interesting. In going through things, I found the deed. The deed when this church was given to the community. We had to actually purchase it from the Methodists. They wouldn't leave the church until someone purchased it. So the town of Hartsgrove purchased the church Don't know it, they paid for it, don't have any idea. But at that time, in the deed, it says the church belongs to all those that reside in the town of Hartsgrove. So now as we reside in the town of Hartsgrove, we are now members and we're all owners of the church. So when it comes time to do something here, I hope everyone helps out. Call your family. I got my son looking this week. He doesn't know it yet, he does, he's gonna be in here this week. This book they put out, you that didn't get it, should've got it, because it's got more information, and that they found most of the information on the church in Orwell, in the Historical Society had a whole mess of stuff about the Hartsgrove Church, and that's how she found out a lot of the mess out. What I couldn't, and of course all I had was just the paperwork. We've had, I don't know how many pastors in the church, there's a whole list of them, I'm not gonna read them, they're in there. I did take the original papers and we have microcopied it in the copy machine, and we do have a copy of all the original papers that we put aside, so if something would happen, we would have an extra copy of it. And I thought it was a neat thing to find. Our families have stayed here for years. I have so many memories of walking in the church in 1960 after I married my husband. My father and mother-in-law brought me, and it's been my church ever since. Times I haven't been here as much, times I haven't. I did everything from teach Sunday school to doing this. I never did this before. But I don't know what else to say. Can you think of anything else I missed?
Well, I know Sandra Starkey and the Jarvis helped do the church inside here.
That's right, that's not in the minutes either.
It was redone,
It was after the picture was painted.
yeah. Reverend Stoner was painting that in, around 1970.
Yeah, he was doing that in the 70s.
And it was completed by 1971 because John and I got married here in 1971 and it was completed.
Okay.
Not sure when we removed this, but I was here when it was removed, the stage. And, so things have changed a whole bunch.
It has changed. And of course, when they put the addition on and put the bathrooms in back here, that's when this door was put in.
Yes, I know
There
a
was
lot of,
a lot of discussion how they were gonna get to the back, but
right,
they finally decided to go through the side and not go through the painting.
yeah, so much has happened through the church and so many people have helped at different times. It's amazing, and I believe the cross that's up there, Bob Leonard brought in.
He could have.
And, had that put up there. So.
I know he did the military,
Yes,
lights on the wall.
he did the military on the wall.
When did you guys do
One
the
is
kitchen?
gone.
When did we do the kitchen? We did the kitchen when we put this addition on, it was all done and,
And that's something else, I don't have any data when that
yeah,
was done.
I don't
I
remember when it
couldn't
was
find
done, but
anything.
Paul Jarvie and, several people that he knew put the kitchen in,
Okay.
and we had
Well,
it,
Harold Fuller had a lot to do with
Yeah.
getting this built back here too.
yes. So we had a lot of, different people I know, David and, might have helped some on the kitchen.
He did, he's
And-
the one, David Fuller was the one that had the block windows put around the church,
Yeah, the
because he
basement.
got my husband to help me put them in.
Yeah, and the steeple, literally, he went up, measured it, and Dave Fuller built it down at his home, and never went back up after he built it, until they put it up. And, they maintained the light that's on the steeple. And, so many people have had a lot of, different things, and at one time, Reverend Cash was here, and that was in the 60s and before, and the church was packed. I mean, they were more than 100 people coming. They would have it filled every week. you know, it's slowly diminished through the years, you know, with the different, not that it's the minister's fault, it's just that there's so many other churches in the area. Right now, I believe there's this church and the one on Ireland Road,
Yes, some of the only two existence
Yeah.
right now.
but at one time there was
Well,
at
there-
least 4 in
Yeah,
Hartsgrove.
and the old Grange Hall used to be used as a church too.
Yes,
Years ago, when I was running that Bible study here, or the Bible school,
vacation,
I
Bible
had
school.
people drop in and want to know all about church or and I said, I'm sorry, but I have no information on that building.
Yeah.
It's now a Grange Hall. It could have been a church at one time. I don't know. I don't have any information on it.
In the book of history of Ashtabula County, it said at one time there were about 10 churches in Hartsgrove, but they would be in people's homes and they would travel from place to place. And Hartsgrove actually had a post office and it was run from someone's home.
Yeah.
You know, so,
In them days, post office would run from your home.
yeah,
Oh, the school is right down the street here.
yes.
Yeah, and the
So the
school.
school is right next to the fire hall.
Yeah.
My brothers and sisters used to go there. So, you know,
So it was the graduating class that was here in 21 when the floor caved in, wasn't it?
didn't, Harold, wasn't Harold here when the church,
Yeah, Harold Potter was 12 years old, and he was back in the back here.
Yeah.
With a lot of the overflow when it fell down. He said basically no one lost their lives.
Yeah.
There was a couple hurt, but no one lost their lives. But they were digging out. In the first place, they were digging out. It happened. They were going to use it for graduation from Rome, because that's how we did it, I guess, in them days. And the people in the town decided they were going to have a basement here. So the men had been working patiently, digging holes, digging out. Well, they didn't. I don't think they had put any support in that basement. There probably just was what it was built with. But as the basement, you know, as the dirt was taken away, they were put in, beams were not put in yet. But the beams were put in after the basement was built.
It was,
or
who did painted the walls? It was Iris, or not Iris, but,
we have
Mrs.
wallpaper in here.
I thought what's her name put that up and painted it.
Sandra Starkey.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, Sandra Starkey did.
Yeah.
And, actually the wallpaper that's in the restroom that's up front here, I believe Harold and Howard put it in.
Yeah.
So, that was a day or two ago.
Yeah, Howard was the one that disconnected the, old kitchen. They told him, he said, now that water heater, that old water heater back there is empty. It was not empty, it was full of water. That's also when Shirley lost her hot water in the bathing, because she was getting hot water out of the old tank. That was her hot water. It wasn't very hot because the hot water tank didn't really work anymore. They disconnected it. But they had not disconnected in the wire, the piping.
Yeah.
And they come in and they took the old piping down.
We got a paved driveway now too.
Yeah.
That was always dirt.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then when we had the basement floor done, and they discovered we had holes under our basement, the sand and stuff had washed and they filled, I don't know how many.
They had drilled holes in it,
They
yeah,
drilled holes
and filled
and
it.
filled it with a foam. So the basement floor is solid.
And I don't know when the, do you know when the well was put in?
No, I don't. The new well was drilled when they put the new addition on.
Okay,
That's when they took the water, they put that into the water from that well and turned this one off. Now that well is still out there, I don't know anything about it, whether it works. But I know we shut everything down on the inside and took apart everything. That was quite an adventure. And then when they took the old closet down and down there, they took the water heater out, and I had my husband put shelves in there, so that now it's got shelves in there, so you can store stuff.
Yeah.
But that was where the water tank's in, or the hot water tank. Cold water, I don't know where that was at.
Interesting.
And also, you probably don't know, there's two drains in the church. One is in back that's in the corner where the old kitchen was, because that was the drain that everything went through. Sooner or later, when they built the
Kitchen?
when they built the basement, they took the basement out first and put it in. When they did that, they put another drain down there. So in the corner of the kitchen, in that corner, there was a drain under there, and it attaches to the outside. It just drains real water, or water from the church, not from the sinks and that's strictly one that goes to the ditch.
Septic tanks out there.
Septic system is out in the front, and it still works, and it's original. Now, if something happens to that, we don't know how it'll happen, because we're landlocked here to make a big septic system.
And I know Ron Peterson planted one of the pines that are out front.
Okay.
The smaller pines, I think it's this one over here.
Okay.
And
We've taken down a lot of the trees around.
yeah,
I know the one big pine tree got cut down here.
yeah, it was in memory of, I don't remember who, but he put a pine out there in memory of someone. I don't know if we have that written down.
That wasn't written down anywhere.
Yeah. So,
There was not a whole lot in the basement, as to what happened. I only know because my father-in-law was telling me when Howard fixed the thing. He said, well, Howard and I did this, Howard and I did that. And then we come, I hate to say it, but another Potter built the bookcases. My son come in, we were getting the shelf, we were getting ready for the next round, he said, and I said, we need bookcases. He said, okay, I can build them. So that's when the book area come in that we have, he built that. And Sandy painted it, and there were two of them did. But that is removable. If you look at it right, you can take twos and you can remove everything. That would all come out. And he did it that way on purpose, in case someone wanted to change it around and maybe build the bookcase somewhere else or something, I don't know. It's been a long history. I've enjoyed it. It was really an enjoyment to me to go through the girls let me read all that stuff. I took it home and read it, and they was very patient to let me read it. I really enjoyed it. I'm sorry we only had 4 people up here to talk about it. And they didn't, all they wanted to do was talk about the picture, and the one wanted to know the age of the church, and if we still had services here, and I said we still do. Our biggest service, I guess, yet is Christmas Eve.
yeah,
Although we had it full when Bob Nye died,
yeah.
it was overfilling for his funeral. There has been a few of those in here that have filled it up pretty much. Any more things you can think of, Bill?
No, I mean, yeah, but you've already covered it pretty much, I think. Yeah, it's been interesting listening to you.
Yeah. It's an interesting building. We're trying to get a new roof on. Roof has to be replaced, and then we have to get shutters back on these windows. We should put new seat covers on, but because the sun is shining in, it's ruining this. They're not ruining these here seats on this side or even because of the sun shining in. Never thought of that when they put the new windows in. And I think there was curtains or drapes or something on there.
We had shutters on
Was
there.
there shutters on
We
there?
had shutters on there.
And
And
you took them off
you could open them and close them, and then they put these up.
and took the shutters off. Oh, that's right, you
Yeah.
can see where they were on there.
And we had the new windows put in.
Yeah, the new windows all went in. And a
Oh.
new door if we can get enough money. That front door is in bad shape.
I'll tell you this for John, he's our maintenance man now, I think.
Yeah, he used to be, but not anymore.
Well, he still does a lot.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
still does, but,
He would come in and he would take the garbage out, sweep the floor and sweep the outside and
yeah,
And then
take the
Shirley,
garbage out after every Sunday meeting and.
Shirley Wolf's done a lot of cleaning in here.
Oh, yeah, she cleaned for many years.
Yeah.
yes. Yep. A lot of people have done a lot of different things to help out, you know, and, I mean, everybody works for the good of the church, so that is, you know, wonderful that the people that participate are still willing, and small but mighty is what we are, you know?
Yeah.
As long as everybody is willing to work and,
I don't think any of the churches have big gatherings
No.
like they used to at
No.
all.
and we are blessed because we do have children
Yeah.
still coming
We
in.
still
And
have children.
a lot of that is due to the Wolf family, because the
Yeah.
majority of them are the Wolf families,
Mhm.
you
Well,
know?
that's how we used to do our Bible, our Bible,
Some, yeah,
Sunday
vacation
in
Bible
every,
school.
and the Wolf family filled it up, and Shirley was always here. One year they had me ahead of it, it was fine until the teacher for the first grade decided not to come. They gave me that was not good too. The kids had fun, I was horrible. I'm not a good teacher. My teaching days was, right after I met my husband and moved in, after my daughter was born, I started teaching Sunday school. And I taught it in the kitchen downstairs around a round table. And I started with the 5th and 6th, and when things got tight and we were losing people to teach, I had the 4th, 5th, and 6th. The 1, 2, and 3 was one teacher, and 3, 4, and 5 was the other one. When I quit teaching it, they wanted to play with Rick instead of listening to me. The baby was more interesting than Shirley. But I enjoyed the kids. A lot of days.
Vacation Bible school, and they have it here, as I was a kid.
Yes.
We had to use the Star Hall and the Grange
Yeah,
Hall,
yeah,
because we had
because we had so
that
many
many children that came.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Vera Hansen used to give a marvelous
she
story
did.
with felt
With the
figures.
felt, and we did have that stuff around here when we were cleaning out. I think they got rid of it though, but it was here for many
Yeah.
years.
She kept the kids
Bible
mesmerized with her stories. I mean, she just was an amazing at doing that.
Oh, I was gonna bring up too, during World War II, the men all went to war, they were gonna close the door and the women said, no, we're not closing the doors. The women will keep the doors open. So the church was ran there for a few years, women only. There was very, very few men, because the few farmers come in, but very few men were here. It was almost all women that kept it going. If they needed something, they were here.
So, we might as well.
Is that enough? Should we go with our final song and,
Yeah, we'll do our final song.